This is figure 1a. Let's zoom in just to see figure 1a. Alright, then let's guess what it is about. Well, so how do you think? Well, it's showing three different things. Mirror and retroreflector and gradient metasurface. And
so it seems to be indicating how a normal mirror works.
Yes.
Showing that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection.
Yes.
Regardless of the incidence of the incident light.
Yeah.
And then the retroreflector is showing that the reflection is the same as the angle of the incident light, which is interesting behavior.
Yeah.
And then it seems to be implying that the gradient metasurface has a specific angle at which the light is bent from its incident angle. So it seems to be the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence plus some vector Pn.
All right. So it only works as retroreflector
At a
for a
specific angle.
for a specific angle, because it's basically adding momentum to another direction.
Yes.
All right.
So
yeah, I think that's what it's saying. So the P is the momentum. So PR parallel and PI parallel is the direction on the parallel to the plane.
Yep.
And R means I think reflection and I means incidence. So reflection and incidence has basically same linear momentum in the mirror, but in the retroreflector is the opposite. And gradient metasurface is the reflecting the linear momentum of the reflected light is the summation of incident momentum and the momentum that generated by the metasurface. So
and I guess what that means is that when PI, which is the momentum parallel within the device, is equal but opposite to PM, then the angle of the reflected light is the same as the incident angle.
Yeah, right, correct. So in the in the top figure here, the PM is minus 2 pi. So it makes the minus pi, right? But here at the bottom is the metasurface. PM is still the same PM, but the pi is different. So yeah. I guess so. What do you think they made the middle one or the third one?
I would assume that if they put the diagram here, that they probably made both.
Or just as the middle one is to explain the concept, and the third one is what they actually made.
Possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's not very exciting if it works only
at one angle.
Yeah, one angle.
Well, there are certain applications where that could be useful, but I think that from the description they gave in the abstract, it seems that they've definitely created a retroreflector that works with 78% efficiency up to 60 degrees.
60 degrees is the range of the
range of view.
Ah, right.
That's what it seemed to state in the abstract.
Can we check quickly?
Yeah, sure.
78% of efficiency.
And a large half power field of view of 60 degrees.
Large half power field of view of 60 degrees. So that means...
What I think that means is that over a range of 60 degrees, they see at least half of the incident light being reflected back at the same angle.
Ah, right. Yeah. At least half. Yeah, right.
And what that probably means is that the efficiency of the retroreflector is a function of incident angle, and probably reduces as you go to a smaller angle, because the momentum transfer has to be higher and higher and higher, and it becomes less efficient as you go to smaller angle.
Right.
And when I say small angle there, I mean a grazing
from
angle.
the normal.
It's a large angle from the normal.
Yeah, right. So if the angle is 0, then it's just a normal mirror. So you wouldn't expect it would lose much power. But if the angle if the oblique angle gets greater, then it will lose more power because it needs to go through the bigger momentum transfer. Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting, at normal incidence, the efficiency is only 78%, which means that it is
already,
It is losing 20% of the normal mirror's power.
Right.
I mean, we have mirrors that are about 99%.
Even 5-digit or 6-digit, 99%.
Yeah.
99.999 or something. Yeah.
So it already has lost a lot of reflectiveness.
Yeah.
At normal incidence, but it's still impressive that they can get an angle of up to 60. Well, a grazing incidence of 30 degrees from the plane, or 60 degrees.
I guess that would, or
is it only
30?
Yeah, that's a question.
Minus 30 plus 30. But yeah, maybe that's what I mean. Yeah.
That would still be pretty impressive.
Yeah. So this 78% is something probably not they're very proud of, but yeah. The 60 degrees is something they want to show.
I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at to get a device that gets 78% reflection and has this functionality.
Right. I mean,
because a standard mirror has no additional functionality.
Right.
So it's still pretty impressive.
Yeah. So let's try to go to the figure 2b. All right. Oh yeah, now I think they're showing that how it works. So if they combine these two metasurface, interesting. What do you think?
Oh, right. I understand.
So I think the Metasurface 2 is the one which gives the momentum.
Yep.
And the Metasurface 1 is the one which does the Fourier transform.
Mm-hmm.
So it works as a lens. So it focuses the plane wave into one focal point, and it goes to Metasurface 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I see. Yeah. Now I see. Yeah, I see what I mean. Yeah. Would you explain it?
Yeah. So it seems what they're actually doing is they're using the gradient metasurface as their Metasurface 2, and then they're using Metasurface 1, which is a metasurface performing the Fourier transform, to focus the incident light based on the incident angle at the appropriate position on Metasurface 2 to impart the required momentum transfer.
Yeah.
Which is a really elegant solution.
Interesting. So so for example, if the incident angle is 15, then it will focus on a certain point of Metasurface 2.
Yeah.
Then that will give a corresponding momentum back to minus 15 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, correspond to that angle.
Yeah.
So that will reflect to 15 back.
Yeah.
But if it comes with 30, that will be focused on a different point in the Metasurface 2. Then different momentum will be transferred. But really?
Now, this diagram, as it stands here, actually suggests to me even more that there must be some distance to propagate between the two metasurfaces.
Yeah, right.
Because otherwise you couldn't get the spatial translation on the metasurface 2 that they're implying here.
Yeah, but when they say the stack, so I imagine still they're in one device.
Yeah, I mean, the spacing may be less than a micron.
Yeah.
Depending on the wavelength that they're using.
Or maybe some microns, or
But I think that there should be at least some spatial separation rather than just direct stacking on top of each other. Otherwise, there would be no space for the focusing to occur.
Yeah. Well, actually, but there are some perfect lens using Metasurface which focus on a. So maybe they can use those trick to focus in a fairly short distance from the Metasurface one. Yeah. You can come, Claire. No? All right. Yeah. And one problem is there, once it's focused light, it's all combination of all different angles, so different linear momentum. Then when you push it back to transfer the momentum to something else. Oh.
The transform should be the same because once it reflects off Metasurface 2, it diverges again.
Right.
And then undergoes the same inverse transform passing through Metasurface 1. So the angular contributions gained from the focusing are undone. So in the end, only the momentum transfer received at Metasurface 2 is actually imparted to the final transmitting light.
Can you read the paper, Claire? No?
No? You're not going to read it for us?
Oh, please. All right. Oh, yeah, the problem is... All right, yeah. You know, well, for example, this beam experience small momentum transfer, but this beam has to experience a large momentum transfer.
I disagree.
All right.
Because it depends on how the device is working, but from my understanding of what we've read so far, I'd suggest that the momentum transfer at this specific location, if this is all focusing to a point on this metasurface, then the momentum transfer is the same for all incident light. The momentum vector of this light is different to the momentum vector of this light. But the incident light all has the same momentum vector.
Why?
Because it's coming in at the same angle.
Oh.
So then the transform that occurs here...
Going like that.
Yeah, it's coming in at the same angle. See, all of these lines are parallel?
So that can go to here and that can go to there.
Yeah.
They can't go to the
and
other
then
places.
Once it passes through this level, this metasurface 1, this black slab of material here, each of the individual beams, based on their spatial position, where they hit the surface, gets bent by a different amount. And then, in reflecting off metasurface 2, I think they get the same momentum transfer. See you later, Claire. Or are you going to come back? Oh, you're coming back. So they get the same momentum transfer at this point, and then they're reflected back to the metamaterial, not necessarily to the same point. So this ray may actually come through here and reflect back at some point over here or over here, depending on what the momentum transfer is. But when it hits metasurface 1, it goes through the same transform. So the difference in these angles is actually undone again through metasurface 1. And because the momentum transfer for all of the rays was the same,
Yeah, I really need to think about. Yeah, really.
It should come back out at the same angle, but possibly emitting from a different point than where it entered. So
yeah,
this ray may pass
because
through
the Metasurface one is a gradient Metasurface, so it will. No, stop. Yeah,
I think gradient surface 2 is the Metasurface 2 is the gradient Metasurface.
And
Metasurface 1 is the Fourier transform Metasurface.
Yeah.
But what may actually happen is this beam comes in, it passes through, and then it may reflect out to here, but then come back out with the same angle. And this one here might come in and come to a different point, come out here,
평아 이제 그만해.
and be reflected.
우리 앞에 조용히 있어. 아빠 그렇게 장난치지 말고 그만해 이제. Alright, sorry. Yeah.
No worries.
아니면 여기 딱 가만히 있어 그러면 조용히 있어. 아니면 이거 읽어주든지. 아빠 이렇게 잡아 당기거나 아빠 위에 올라가지 말았어?
Come on, you've got to ask interesting questions.
Alright, yeah, so let's suppose that yeah, well I still don't understand, but yeah, let's suppose that it works in some way. That's figure 1 only has 2 figures. Maybe we
2 components.
Yeah, 2 components, 2 subfigures. Or maybe we can read the caption. It's just kind of, this is how I'll read it. Alright?
Yeah, sure.
Figure 1, planar retroreflector concept. Alright, so it's about the concept. Alright, yeah. A, schematic illustration of reflection by a mirror, a planar reflector, and a gradient metasurface. Yeah, of course, yeah, we know that. The mirror does not change the in-plane component of the momentum P parallel of instant light, whereas the retroreflector changes its sign, and the gradient metasurface adds a momentum PM to it. All right, yeah, that's how we understood.
Yep.
And B, Claire, would you read it from here? From here,
please, Claire. No.
Or I can help.